Section as a four-way stop. Learn more safety tips at les.com/safety.
It's the fall sports season, and that means that the school year is back in session and you're planning road trips for Nebraska football games and following your kids around to their different events. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home so you don't have to worry about your current car struggling through another season. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Lake and find your next ride. As your fall schedule gets busy, you'll need a reliable way to get to your destinations. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $25.60 per hour, which grows to $30.12 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $34.51 per hour with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates with increased bonuses and vacations for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
The 2024 Nebraska football season is here, and we need you to be a part of the Sea of Red Memorial Stadium this fall. A limited number of Husker football single-game tickets are on sale now and are only available while supplies last. Don't miss out on any of the action this season by getting yours before it's too late. To purchase your Husker football single-game tickets, visit huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, scattered showers possible this morning. And probably sunny skies expected this afternoon. We'll see a high around 82. Tonight, partly cloudy skies with a low around 65. And tomorrow, mostly sunny skies return, the light breeze, and a high around 86. I'm meteorologist Kyle Pecker from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old-fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
This show's pretty rockin', huh?
Yeah, I'm so glad my State Farm agent helped me go.
Huh?
My State Farm agent. They help me with options to personalize my auto insurance to get a great rate that fits my budget, so I don't have to give up the things I love.
Wow. Hey, so do you think I could get your State Farm agent's number?
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krekak, at 402-474-1173.
Individual premiums and budgets will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
You already know that Select Plumbing takes care of all your plumbing needs, including water heaters, faucet repairs, leaks, drips, sump pumps, and more. Now, they're able to help you with your heating and air conditioning as well. Select Plumbing has recently expanded into residential heating and air, and they're excited to bring this new service to their complete list of plumbing services. Call to book an appointment today at 402-560-6197 or go to selectplumbinginc.com. Serving Lincoln, Seward, Milford, and the surrounding areas. 93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Bree Fansteel, local race car driver. Join me and James Rowland every Sunday at 7 p.m. for The Finish Line, where we discuss off-road, on-road, and sometimes next-to-the-road racing on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, good Tuesday? This is Old School coming at you live from 1040 O Street. Jay Foreman, DP, Austin Norman. We're brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese, Special Ingredients and Butcher Shop, 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, 84th and Old Cheney, and then if you're up in the 168th and Maple. So go in there and be blissful.
Get fed.
Mm-hmm.
Get fed.
Get that grass-fed meat and throw it on the grill.
Get the pasta, get some wine.
Yeah.
They'll hook you up with everything.
A lot going on. I was seeing college football and the pro football. But we got about, 8 minutes. I think the story of the day, there's multiple. Obviously, we'll jump into some NFL stuff as well. I'm sure it's been combed over 80 million times on the internet that the Nebraska came out with their single digits, but Delaware, it was supposed to supposed to be in the air right now. Heading out to Hawaii to play. Man. In a winnable game, probably they're thinking, right? Probably worked all summer. Kids excited, families are excited, probably meeting them out there, going to greet them at the airport. There's one big problem, though. They missed the bus to the airport. I've never heard of a team of missing. I understand if you break down, if you're in the snow, we've seen that. I've been a part of that, 1 or 2 times when I was in Buffalo. You get stranded a little bit, but you missed the bus? Like you just missed your flight?
For week 1.
Your first game of the year.
You live in Delaware and you miss a flight to Hawaii.
Like how are you not
desperate to get out of there?
But even when you travel with the pros, and this is, pre 9/11 and even after 9/11, you're there if your flight is at, say, 11 a.m. Somebody on the team is on the plane or, at the airport, and I'm sure they're flying commercial, right? 9 o'clock at the latest. I mean, you're there 2-3 hours beforehand just because you got to load the equipment. You're going to have somebody on the team that's checking everybody in, right? Because you're just having a block of tickets. And you're late? You missed you missed your flight?
I can't, in all of my years of traveling with teams at any level, pro, NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, NHL, college, never would it be set up without a plan for making flights on time. I can't even wrap my brain around it. One, it tells me you didn't have a backup plan, but 2, it tells me that
you didn't have an A plan.
Bro, how does that, Jay? Like, your staff is now shorter about 5 people because people had to get fired standing there in line.
There's an open football ops position at the very least.
Right? Travel director, travel agency, several assistant coaches and analysts, a consultant, right? The people whose job is to do the dorm check, to do the bus check, to do the luggage check, equipment manager, all those things in play, that everybody, transportation director, there's a bunch. And nobody caught it. Nobody got it right.
Yeah, I mean, the subject of travel, especially in the last 2 weeks, is in your staff meetings. Is there anything changed? Your weather updates. If there is weather, then we probably need to get there a little bit earlier. Does everybody have, travel documents? That means some form of legit ID. So let's just say somebody doesn't have a driver's license, or they lost their driver's license. You have somebody on the team or the player or
Social
players,
security number.
Or you're gonna have to you're gonna have to get temporary documents to get on the plane. So this has been a topic of conversation for probably well over 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then the day that you get there, that you knew that you had to go somewhere, and unless it was a huge traffic jam
in Delaware.
I'm just playing. But here's where I would probably push back on that.
That's only for people who've never been to Delaware.
The thing is, they would have somebody that's not on the team bus already be there So you're not, whoever is your travel coordinator or your ops person or persons, they would be at, like in this case, they would be at Lincoln Airport long before the team and everybody else strolls up there.
Yeah, all the equipment is there before. All of the uniforms is there before. All of your whatever travel snacks you put together, it's there before. So that when they walk off the bus, they're handed itineraries, travel schedule, confirmation information, snacks for the plane, per diem. Like there's a ton. Room assignments. Like there's like when you get there, because you're going to be there for a couple of days.
Yeah. I mean, it's more like a preseason bowl trip, where, it's a 10.5-hour flight. And it's Delaware State, so.
That tells me a little bit more.
Yeah, so they're HBCU, right?
Yeah, that tells me a
Delaware
little bit
State is an HBCU.
Man, boy, that's a bad look.
But then they said, their best statement was, listen, we're working on a plan. And then so they said that there were some logistical challenges with the team flying from East Coast to Hawaii Island with a 6-hour time difference. The Hornets and Rainbows are scheduled to play Saturday at 6 p.m. local time, 12 a.m. Eastern time. They're playing at midnight.
We weren't even offered this game at 12 midnight.
You should be leaving 2 days earlier than you
it's
originally
Hawaii,
planned.
Bro. Like you.
But then also you got to understand budgets, right? For a HBCU is probably not as big as like a Nebraska, but that doesn't mean that the flight's already paid for. The flight, and I'm sure they're getting some money from Hawaii or whatever. So, yeah, man. First of all, I feel sorry for the kids because they aren't in control. The adults are, in control. The people that are employees are in control. But I've never heard of, okay, yeah, it's a long flight. You know that before you accept the game. It's not like we're surprised. We thought we were just playing down in like Maryland somewhere. You're going to Hawaii. It's a trip that you can look forward to, no matter what your budget is set at, the possibility of going sightseeing. Some of these kids will never have the opportunity to go to Hawaii ever in their life. Now, I'm sure they'll get there, but everything is going to be rushed. I mean, football players are creatures of habit. You definitely don't want to get a trip started off by missing the bus, which I think that's a controllable, or missing your flight. I think that's a controllable. And to label it, I'll just say this: they as a bus snafu at the airport. So here's what happened. They were driving from Delaware State or wherever they were down to New York City, and somebody did not forecast for that traffic. And I was, what's crazy is I was just talking to somebody today about what it was like when I played for the Giants. And then same goes for the Jets. Everybody sees New York Jets, New York Giants, but you're actually in New Jersey, East Rutherford, New Jersey, which is not New York. But I liked it. But I remember when my dad flew in for the game, and he was coming from Minneapolis, and came, and they were like, I was like, oh well, we got a little bit late practice. I'm gonna watch tape lift. He's like, all right, well, I'm gonna get. They landed like 10:30, right? Listen, that's when when you go from Jersey to JFK, you got to drive through downtown New York. And I didn't know how to go. This is back when you had MapQuest. So I'm MapQuesting this bad boy.
Did you print them off?
Yeah. In a rental car. So I was at there.
Listen.
No, I did that.
You was living really well. Get an atlas map with 96 pages you had to fold. In triplicate.
MapQuest is how I got to my first training camp. So I MapQuested it. So I was staying at the, whatever the kind of apartment in the Marriott there. That's where the team was having me stay, and I just kept staying there. Get your bed made every day. And you know what I'm saying? I mean, hey, kick off your shoes, people make up, clean up. I like this. It's not too bad. So I went down to the business center, printed off MapQuest how to get to JFK. Because listen, when you're in New York and New Jersey, you miss an exit, it's 30 extra minutes. Yeah. And then you don't know where you're going. And God forbid you ask somebody where to go. You're getting
don't do that.
So if we go from East Rutherford to JFK, you go, at least I went through downtown New York City. 10:30 at night, it's just getting live down there. Like the freaks are coming out. I mean, it was jammed. The streets were starting to get flow. So that's what happened. And it was bumper to bumper traffic just getting on the turnpike to get to the airport. So I'm sure that's what happened. And they missed their flight.
I'm trying to understand that this coaching staff and these leaders have been preaching discipline and preparedness and having a plan, and nope, none of it worked.
And you can't, you know what it is. And listen, no matter what, and I learned this actually, and I'll tell the story before we go to break. I remember, so when I played in Buffalo, the 4 years, so after my first year, either my dad or my cousin would fly out, and when the season's over, I'd go from the end of the season meeting. My car would already be packed because you stay up all night, packing. Unfortunately, it was, after a playoff loss, so you're mad and then you just want to get the heck out of Buffalo. So we would drive straight back. So my cousin drives with me the one time, and he picks me up, and he's there for the ride. He's there for the
scenery.
Yeah, he's there for the scenery and to kick it. We're eating, stopping places. He I want to eat and go. I want to get home. So there's a certain way that you got to go around Chicago. It doesn't matter if it's 5 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock at night, midnight, 9 a.m. There's just traffic in Chicago. Well, he's supposed to be the navigator, the co-pilot. I won't tell you how he decided to take a nap. He participated in a little bit of hieroglyphics, as I like to call them. And he was looking at the map. His torch must have got off. So we had to go all the way. We had to an extra hour and a half around and end up going through Racine, Wisconsin, Milwaukee, then to Minneapolis.
You don't like Racine. I know that story.
Yeah, them dudes from Racine beat the brain. I still got nightmares from it. I always see Dave Johnson.
You did that on purpose,
Yeah, Racine was not. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, well, listen, the dudes that get ran out of Chicago end up in Racine. It's like Chicago of the Northeast, or Northeast Chicago. But so that's just like New York. You get your tours off, man. You will be late, and you will you will miss your flight. So unfortunately for them, it happened. That's just it's not the story of the day, but it's a very unique story because I don't think it ever happened again. I hate it for Delaware State and their university and the players, but hopefully it's something they can inspire to go out there and put on a good performance.
Every HBCU in the country mad right now.
Why?
They mad.
Because it made them look bad?
Yeah. Every single one.
Man, listen, HBCU, they weren't mad when Ed Reed came in there and they ain't even, he's a head coach, they didn't even vacuum the floor.
Oh, they still mad about that.
Yeah. Anyways, though, it's unfortunate for them. They'll be okay. But we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna come back, and we're gonna talk about the GM at Alabama. Is this the new position underneath the head coach with the way that college football is going? That's going to be the second highest paid. And that's pretty much the NFL model, right? Generally, I mean, obviously coordinators and that, but my man down in Alabama is doing all right now. But we're going to take a quick break, come back. Jay Foreman, DP Austin. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and Jay. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You've seen them come and go. Franchise testosterone clinics that pop up and then whoosh, they're gone. These franchise clinics quickly find out it's not easy to compete with Limitless Male. Limitless is locally owned and operated with a flawless protocol that has elevated them to be the best in men's testosterone replacement and sexual performance. By adding GLP-1s, our patients are losing weight in a healthy way. To feel your optimal best, schedule a free consult at limitlessmale.com.
Load up on meat and more this summer at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's specials through August 20th is buy 2 New York strips, get 2 free, limit of 4. Also, $2 off all nuts. Location at 84th and Havelock and 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Have you ever gotten a car deal so good that you can brag about for decades? This is that deal. The government has given us a $4,000 instant credit on vehicles already at the historically lowest prices. Cars that were over $50,000 just 2 years ago are now selling below $20,000. See the deals here and drive away the car of your dreams at a price you never thought possible. Go to 4000off.com, 400off.com to learn more.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today: scattered showers possible this morning, and probably sunny skies expected this afternoon. We'll see a high around 82. Tonight, partly cloudy skies with a low around 65. And tomorrow, mostly sunny skies return, the light breeze, and a high around 86. I'm meteorologist Kyle Pecker from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The Link Grill, Draft, and Crafts is your spot in Southeast Lincoln for great food and drink. They're serving new menu items and a killer craft cocktail menu with your favorite draft beers. You'll love their pizza and new entree options. It's a great place to watch any live events, and they have music bingo every month. They have an aggressive loyalty program that rewards fans with 7% back on all purchases. Home of the Nebraska Power Hour every night from 8 to 9 p.m. Order online at thelnkgrill.com or stop in at 84th and Highway 2 today.
At Fairway Meat Market, your family. And as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now, through August 25th, enjoy 8-ounce USDA Choice New York strip steaks for $5.99 each, all-natural pork belly for $2.99 per pound, all-natural boneless shoulder pork roast for $1.99 per pound, and Busch Light 30 packs for $17.99 per pack if you buy two. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn. Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
Power outages can impact traffic lights. If you come across a non-functioning traffic light, treat the intersection as a four-way stop. Learn more safety tips at les.com/safety.
It's the fall sports season, and that means that the school year is back in session and you're planning road trips for Nebraska football games and following your kids around to their different events. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home so you don't have to worry about your current car struggling through another season. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Lake and find your next ride. As your fall schedule gets busy, you'll need a reliable way to get to your destinations. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Old School with DP and Jay.
And, this part of camp it happens in high school camp, when they have a certain amount of time before their game, before school starts and all that. And then it happens in college and it happens in the pros. I had more fights with some of my good friends, the guys that I'm considered lifelong friends at this point in camp, than with some, over-energized rookie trying to make a name for himself. Seriously.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Back to Old School with DP and Jay on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, we're back. Jay Foreman, DP, Austin Norman, Old School on this Tuesday, 1040 O Street. We're talking GMs in college. Obviously, everybody's with the college football, it seems like changing every week, literally every week. I think we first saw, at least around here, Mike Riley had a GM. And then obviously everybody else, I think Scott Frost had one. And then obviously, with Coach Rule, Sean Patton, with their NFL experience, it was just a no-brainer, right? And so if you haven't heard, the GM at the University of Alabama was getting courted, let's say, by USC. And in order for to get him to stay, I think he got a raise of a 3-year deal at $850,000 a year, right?
ESPN saying 825.
825.
Still, that
okay.
quibbles.
Yeah. $825. Cost of living in Bama is significantly cheaper than LA or whatever. But the bigger part of the story is the role of GM, or somewhat like you could call it, football operator, whatever you want to call it, but you're the GM. You do essentially a little bit and a lot of everything. And, you look at the salary cap, I'm assuming you look at NIL, you look at talent evaluation, roster management. As far as numbers, it's going to be even more important if you have to go down to 105, or if you're able to have a bigger number during training camp, then you got to cut down to 105. You got to help and decide who goes on the travel roster, which I'm assuming is still going to be anywhere, depending on the conference. Was it 75 to 80?
Still 70, right?
70, yeah, 70. So those roles, I'm obviously under Mike Riley has grown and it's becoming even more important. I think it's a snapshot into when a university is, and just look at college, is hiring a coach. It's just not the coach. It's like, okay, who is your GM? Because what you want to do is have somebody that can, at least in my opinion, be a really good GM that can allow the coach do what he has to do best. And that's be a leader of the team and essentially the university. But then also now as a coach, you have to be the closer in recruiting. And then also you're going to probably have to help in some form or fashion with NIL as well.
I think it's funny that we settled on the term general manager in college because the GM is underneath the coach. You think of it in a pro context, it's not the coach bringing the GM, it's the GM bringing the coach.
Right.
And there's just so much confusion about what that role is. It's still relatively new. I mean, even in the last decade, like you're saying,
yeah.
You have general manager, you have chief of staff, you have director of football ops, you have director of player personnel. So many titles, so many jobs, so many things to do. Some of these titles, I mean, obviously, like Courtney Morgan, the guy at Alabama, did a great job for Washington. There's just so many titles. I don't know if anyone actually knows what these people do consistently.
Well, I think with Courtney, what people don't understand is he had his own sports-related business that he built up on his own, recruiting and stuff like that. So he had a leg up. So he has a ground level, experience. And then I think when you're the general manager, you oversee, all those positions that you spoke about. And if you look at the pros, you have a general manager, and then you have a director of pro scouting, or a director of college scouting. Then you have the director of regional scouting in college, so forth and so on. And then you have, salary cap guys, your assistant salary cap, people, and that's the way it goes.
Austin out here just calling people out. We don't know what the jobs are. We don't know the job titles are. I guess I have an understanding that in order to make money, you have to spend money. Most GMs for Power 5, top 75 programs in the country, the GM position would be anywhere between $500,000 and $1 million. Just off the cuff. That's a lot of money every year.
Yeah, but it's not really though. When you think of what they're having to do now, it's not. It's just on par with what you like. You always look at it like this: they're not going to pay you something that they can't afford. So it's a lot of money, but it's not like they're sitting around just twiddling their thumbs. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it that probably we don't even know. Being a GM, you got to know all the rules. You got to know the regulations. You got to be able to forecast what your salary cap is going to be. You got to forecast. You probably got to look at TV contracts, what's coming in. I'm sure you're.
Well, that's the athletic director and the athletic department, and
right,
the regency and the advisory boards.
But if you're a GM and you're a GM and you are going to get, if your NIL money is coming in, yeah, that's the athletic director's job, but he's not the GM of the football team. He's the athletic director.
But you have a director, you have a president, you have a director of operations. You have. There's other spots. Listen, get your money. Get your money.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's a more prevalent position now, and it's going to be even more prevalent. And
it's even spread to college basketball.
Right.
Most of the top programs in college basketball picked up on what football was doing.
Right.
They're spending $800,000 just for that job, which means that you have $800,000 that you could use to better your football program. And for $800,000 a year, that's a pretty sizable amount of money, no matter who you are, right? Because that's what you're literally trying to reach. You're trying to raise $22 million, and you have alliances in place, right? You have coalitions in play. You have connections and partnerships in play.
Yeah,
it's
all the money's not going to go to the kids. That's just not. This just it. There's two different things. This is a job that you're building a football team, and the players are byproduct of that. The way college football is, it's not even college football anymore. This is pro football. This is all it is. Let's call it what it is. This is pro football. It's just they're just slowly getting to it, and eventually they'll probably call it college pro football, minor league, whatever you want to call it. NFL is entertainment, so this is pro football. You got a GM. Now the only difference is the GM isn't over the head coach. Now, the boss of the head coach is assuming it's just the athletic director and everybody else, but it's definitely professional football, and it's definitely going to be a more prevalent role as it goes along. Because what's going to happen is you're going to have a GM that finds a little bit different way to build a program, and that dude's going to get paid, and then everybody else is going to get paid off of that. It's the way it goes.
I don't begrudge anyone their money, right? Because some people are going to think that having a person on staff to take stuff off of a head coach's plate is going to be worth that amount. Other people won't.
I just think it's the evolution of it. It doesn't have to make sense to me because I'm not in it. I'm not in it. I'm not fighting for. I'm not. Okay, I've been a professional GM for teams, and so I understand the structure and the base level response for it. Like, I've been a CBA GM, I've been an Arena Football League GM. I understand it. But what you're telling me at the college level, that now Alabama's doing it, so everybody's going to do it.
All right.
You're going to set aside an amount of money to have somebody in play to do this, to run business at a professional level.
Because it's professional football. It's no longer college.
We're still talking about professional business.
And that's what you need a GM to do.
That the business, and if you're going to run it like a business, if you're running the athletic department like a business, and you're running the football program like a business, this is the move, and everybody will be held accountable accordingly. Because as a professional, you have to be successful.
Right.
You actually have to be productive and efficient, and you can't just waste money, and you can't just throw money away, and you can't just write off millions of dollars a year.
Right. But on the flip side of that, this is where people don't understand. If they're held accountable and as a professional, so are the players.
Well, the players are being held. The transfer portal. The transfer portal. Like, hold the player accountable.
When you become an employee and you decide that you don't want to practice or you don't play good, you're out of here.
100% do that.
Right.
But
the players are not ready for that. Everybody's talking about we're going to hold somebody accountable or not. Wins and losses is that's just naturally going to happen. So it's like, if you don't win, if you don't do anything at a job, generally, at that type of job, you're going to get fired. But what nobody's ever won't approach, because it's like, let's tiptoe around the subject. These players are so quick. You want to be employees? Well, guess player. You get $1 million signing bonus. You decided not to play in the bowl game. Some of that money's coming back. You don't practice. You have a day that, like, oh, I don't feel like practicing, or say I don't want to go to meetings because say like I'm only splitting time, that money's coming back. It's a whole different ball game that people aren't ready to approach.
But the point that you're literally making for me is that a different level of accountability for everybody.
No, it's all the same accountable.
Right.
You're talking about You're talking about wasting money.
I'm agreeing with you, Jay Foreman. You're not listening. I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you. It's the same accountability at all levels of football for universities, especially Power 5.
Yeah.
But for the professionals, for the paid professional administrators, executives, coaches, players.
Yeah.
For everybody involved, it is a level of accountability that now is going to be palpable. And
when they become employees.
just like the history of college athletics is not one of holding people accountable. That's not the history of it.
Right, but this accountability is going to be like at the school. Because if you're not a good player, the NCAA is not going to cut you. The team's going to cut you, or can. So it's different. But yes, you're right. The NCAA has never done it. They've pick and choose. Everything they've done is conditional. They're very in the forefront during March Madness.
To the text line. Listen, the players choosing not to play in a bowl game. You know who allowed that? The coaches. Coaches could have said, we're playing in a bowl game. That's what we're doing. Because that was their job and their decision. Too many times, the people in the room had an opportunity to lead and manage, and they didn't. And it's fine to say, well, I want a finger point. The reality is that a general manager in this level for this capacity, everybody now has to be productive and held accountable. You get paid high six figures, almost seven figures, to run the financial side and the business side of a college athletic program, especially at a place like Nebraska. So then you have to hold people accountable. It can't be write-off city. It can't be mystery ledger city. It can't be, hey, we're going to write off $37 million in bad decision-making. It can't be. It can't be, because at some point, the fans are going to say, you know what? I'm tired. So be accountable. And if you're not doing the job and you're not successful, you're unemployed. That's what's going to happen. But it hasn't happened. So for everybody involved, from the top to the bottom, whether you're the water boy or the director of the program, now you're in business. And it's not your buddy. It's not your boy. It's not a write-off. It is not a matter of convenience or who I want to get on a chartered plane with. It's about business. And business means you've got to produce.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of it.
You got to produce.
It's part of it.
Ain't cherry picking. We're not sitting back talking about, well, you know what? That's just how business is.
Yeah.
I'm going to hire my boy. I'm going to hire my dude. I'm going to take care of my friend. I'm going to get my golf buddy's nephew on the squad. Nope. You got to win football games for the Nebraska fans in this community. That's what you got to do. Alabama got to do. They got to win. Georgia got to win.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough, man. I mean, those players in for an eye-opening experience. They in for something.
They deserve it, right? They deserve to be held accountable.
It's not about being accountable. It's like, I mean, accountable. That's like a word that's just like out there in the middle. Like,
no, it's not. Like, it has a definition.
Like accountability.
Jay.
Like accountability. DP to you is like if you miss a kick, you're getting cut. That's not going to happen.
Accountable I've never is said that. I've never.
But like accountable, what technically could you hold a player accountable for? Besides not showing up.
Are you showing up? That's accountability.
Right. I'm just saying.
You putting in the work?
Besides the basics.
Are you putting in the work?
I'm saying besides the basics. That's getting your key card.
Accountability as a boss, as a coach, as a player is being prepared in full for everything that you're being asked to do.
That's the basics, though. I'm talking about what the players are not ready for. The basics is how you get your scholarship. That's like going to high school, going to class. That's just the bare minimum. What they're going to be getting held accountable for is two things: is performance. They've never been held accountable along with your paycheck. It's totally different area that they are not ready for. They've never had to do it, so they shouldn't be ready for it. So if you don't produce on the field, that money is gone. Gone. Because if you don't show up to practice, then you already kind of eliminate yourself. Now, if you decided not to go in a bowl game, what's going to be part of that money? Because say you're going to be the number one pick or whatever, and that's choice. You're going to make, what did Caleb Williams get? $35 million?
But Jay, you're not wrong in what you're saying.
Right.
But hey, have the paid professionals been held accountable for the terrible record that exists currently at the University of Nebraska and has? Have they been held? Did they give money back for missing meetings and not recruiting and not getting players prepared and not having codes in place and not having boundaries in place? Have they given back money? Have they shown up and said, listen, accountability is across the board. It's consistent and constant. That's the part that you're missing. I'm not talking about basic level stuff. I'm talking about being consistent about what your message is, what your standard is, and if it's good for if it's good for me, it's good for thee. That's how simple. That's what accountability is. I'm not writing anybody off, and I'm certainly not holding them to a higher standard than I hold myself.
Right, but the I mean, sure. I mean, what somebody's done in the past or how they got away with this is a whole different age. I'm talking about them as employees.
I'm talking about them as employees too.
As the players as employees.
I agree with you that the players,
the way that you can dance around as an employee, and the way they've been able to kind of have a free for all with a lot of money, which is rightful so, take advantage of it. But you got to start making decisions. They got to be adults.
I agree with you that players are going to have a new existence and a new reality.
It's going to affect them a lot more than the adults, because the adults they've been doing this. They've been doing this thing. They've been doing this thing longer though.
Okay with that. I'm looking at a GM walking in the door, and with a high standard of pay and a high notoriety. You're not anonymous anymore. We're not talking about some mystery booster who's writing checks from 500 miles away and isn't accountable. You're talking about somebody whose name and resume and reputation will be known and judged.
Right.
And there'll be a record that exists with your work. And if it doesn't show up in full, that not only are the players accountable.
Oh, they'll get clipped.
That's all
they
I
would
said.
Clip, but that was
it's not even that they're being clipped.
But the player accountability is like being in like Mars and we're on Earth. When you've never been an employee, we're talking about an 18-year-old kid never being an employee. The oldest kid on the team, if you didn't have the COVID years, be like 22, 23 years old. So if you don't perform, this is the first time if they do not perform, you will no longer not play. You no longer are going to get paid, and you will no longer reside in Lincoln, Nebraska.
And good for the coaches being able to work that way.
Right, but it's not the coaches. It's when you become an employee. This is the state that they're in. This is not the coaches making decisions.
How else do you learn as a teenager how contracts and being a professional works? You have to figure. Look, the first time you went into Buffalo, you didn't know what to expect. You had to work at a different standard.
I know what to expect. I seen some dudes that weren't ready.
And guess what happened? They didn't stay there long, did they? So good for them, right? To learn that they weren't good enough. The process wasn't good enough. Their accountability level wasn't high enough, and they had to get better. That's all of this conversation is about for me, is that people get better. Like you're bringing in another person. You're going to spend $1 million in this vacuum. And there has to be some return for that $1 million. There has to be some investment for that $1 million, because we are talking business, aren't we? It's not a gift. You're not being brought in to hang out. You're brought in to do a job. Well, then there's for high risk, high reward, there's high risk and high responsibility.
I like it. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Top of what we at? 5 o'clock hour. We'll dive into some NFL stuff.
Man, y'all better leave Steve Sipple alone on the text line. Steve Sipple ain't do nothing to y'all.
Yeah, he did. He make everybody mad. Sipple make everybody
Leave
mad.
that man alone.
This is Old School. We'll be right back. Jay Foreman, DP Austin.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and Jay on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Fairway Meat Market, your family. And as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now, through August 25th, enjoy 8-ounce USDA Choice New York strip steaks for $5.99 each, all natural pork belly for $2.99 per pound, all natural boneless shoulder pork roast for $1.99 per pound, and Bush Light 30 packs for $17.99 per pack if you buy 2. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
The 2024 Nebraska football season is here, and we need you to be a part of the Sea of Red Memorial Stadium this fall. A limited number of Husker football single-game tickets are on sale now and are only available while supplies last. Don't miss out on any of the action this season by getting yours before it's too late. To purchase your Husker football single-game tickets, visit huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red.
If your car has sent you to the sidelines, Eustis Body Shop can help. With gold-class certified technicians, OEM parts, and free loaner cars, Eustis Body Shop is your best choice this Husker season. And with 6 locations across central and eastern Nebraska, we've got you covered, whether you're rooting at home or you're headed to Memorial Stadium. Get a free online quote at eustisbodyshop.com, and let's get you back in the game.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $25.60 per hour, which grows to $30.12 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $34.51 per hour with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates with increased bonuses and vacations for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
The Link Grill, Draft, and Crafts is your spot in Southeast Lincoln for great food and drink. They're serving new menu items and a killer craft cocktail menu with your favorite draft beers. You'll love their pizza and new entree options. It's a great place to watch any live events, and they have music bingo every month. They have an aggressive loyalty program that rewards fans with 7% back on all purchases. Home of the Nebraska Power Hour every night from 8 to 9 p.m. Order online at thelnkgrill.com or stop in at 84th and Highway 2 today.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
What's it take to be a mentor with big brothers, big sisters? It takes 30 minutes and a cup of coffee. A video game, that's 2 out of 3. It takes sharing thumbs up emojis, clapping emojis, and loaded nachos at halftime. That's how you make an impact on a young kid's life. So go on, share a few hours a month, because mentorship may sound huge, but the truth is, it takes little to be big.
To learn more, volunteer, or donate, go to bbbslincoln.org.
Your child was embarrassed when you arrived at their basketball game. 75% of parents or guardians report current alcohol use. Drinking alcohol can cause harm to children and loved ones. By drinking less, your child will be excited to see you at their basketball game. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Play ball! Tired of the same old routine? Then bring your crew out to Haymarket Park for a thrilling season of Lincoln Salt Dogs baseball and unleash the fun. Enjoy action-packed home games all week long from May through August. It's the perfect change-up to the typical family night or makes for a home run outing with friends and coworkers. Experience the magic and get in on the excitement. Visit saltdogs.com to secure your tickets now. Unleash the fun.
Load up on meat and more this summer at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's specials through August 20th is buy 2 New York strips, get 2 free. Limit of 4. Also, $2 off all nuts. Location at 84th and Havelock and 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Have you ever gotten a car deal so good that you can brag about for decades? This is that deal. The government has given us a $4,000 instant credit on vehicles already at the historically lowest prices. Cars that were over $50,000 just 2 years ago are now selling below $20,000. See the deals here and drive away the car of your dreams at a price you never thought possible. Go to 4000off.com, 400off.com to learn more.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're on 5 o'clock hour. Jay Foreman, DP, Austin Norman. We are Old School. We are brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese, Special Ingredients and Butcher Shop. 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, 84th in Old Cheney, and 168th and Maple up there in the O. A little bit more on college football. Oklahoma State, in order to, since we're talking a little bit of business, decided to put QR codes on each player. It's a little bit of brand awareness. And then that's where if you have a brand, so this isn't obviously being your best brand is being a good football player. But if you have a brand off the field or off the court or whatever, you might see this more obviously in basketball as well, but it's a little bit harder because it's a little bit more fast-paced game and, whatever. So you might have to put it up on the screen. Oklahoma State adds QR codes to helmets for NIL fundraiser for players, which is pretty cool considering there's different ways to look at it. Say you're from, I don't know, let's just say you're from Kearney, a little bit smaller town compared to, the rest of the state or bigger states, throughout the Big Ten. And you have a hometown hero and, say he's playing a little bit and maybe starting or he becomes a pretty good player during the game and say, you make a touchdown, I guarantee your QR code is going to get dinged up a little bit more. So I think that's a pretty unique idea of trying to increase individual NIL opportunities. I'm sure you could do it as a team. And it'd be interesting to see how they divvy it up as well.
Well, wasn't that a thing that there's some programs that are allowing people to, instead of their last name, they can put their @
Yeah, well,
on the back of jersey, right?
State,
right?
Practice jersey,
yeah.
Right? You could do that sort of thing, and that on social media, on every website, the @ exists, and QR codes would be simpler. But I know that. So when I was sent off to college, my neighborhood made a donation. Like they had a party, and there were envelopes, and it was the great send off. Right? Go make us proud. Go make us proud. You're representing our name. You're representing our town. Go do something cool with it. Do something good with it. And that is the thing. I mean, imagine a kid from Grand Island or Scottsbluff or otherwise that, right, where the people have an opportunity to donate to their own to make sure they're doing okay. And it's just, one, it's a great support system, right, for you to be able to just say, hey, Jay, while you're at Nebraska, go take care of us, make us look good. And it's solid foundation because it also tells you if you're not getting support, hey, you might need to get a word.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, look, if you're from walk on or wherever, and you're playing just on special teams, it's good to you make a couple of special team tackles, and you might have somebody from your hometown that maybe don't know much about NIL, and maybe they don't want to donate direct or to the university or whatever it is, but they can, hey, looks, have a couple $100 in your account after a good game or a game. Definitely nobody should turn their nose up at that.
Well, that was, I mean, again, baseball, and again, we weren't even a big program, but first college home run, the mystery envelope shows up. That was NIL back in the day, back in 1980. There was an envelope that showed up if you did well, or a handshake, right? A palm press that did the thing, or maybe you went back to the dorm after a game or a road trip, and there was extra food in the refrigerator somehow, or you know what, your laundry got done. Yeah, there's all sorts of. Hey, you go to a restaurant and they tell you, hey, your money's no good here. So yeah, there is a benefit to it, and it will change. And yeah. Imagine soon that, if you could imagine the next Keisei Tamanaga hitting a 3 and his barcode going up on the board, going up on the big screen for people to just go, ching, ching. Like it would actually, you're not that far from that happening.
And see, that makes more sense to me than putting it on the helmets. I love the idea, but in reality, how's that going to work? Our phone's going to be close enough to zoom in well enough to get the QR code from the helmet? You guys say, hey, 23, come over here. Let me get your helmet.
Yeah.
Obviously, they would do it, and obviously the front of the helmet gets more scuffed than the back.
Yeah, what
but
if
as soon as there's the scuff mark on, I love the idea. Like, how's it going to work in practice?
Yeah.
Well, the Salt Dogs. So Friday we were there, and they had an auction for the jerseys the military jerseys they were wearing. And they had a barcode that they put up on the big screen.
Well, yeah, that works, obviously.
Right?
Like
that's the thing. The helmet thing, okay, I get it.
It's cool.
I get it.
But it's an off-season thing. I don't get the in-season.
It also allows the student athlete to share that barcode on their social media. The easiest way for them to generate it is to have a barcode that you put on your social media. And it's if you want to donate and you want to be a part of this thing. Now, you have to be careful, because that is unsolicited. It's untrackable. Outside of that, the barcode created by Nebraska would have to be tracked by Nebraska to make sure that it's not unseathiness going on, right? That it's somebody of proper relationship donating, but there's no real way to.
Well, I mean, it doesn't really matter the relationship. It's just a matter of where the money's coming from. I mean, there's probably logistics that, they haven't thought about. They're probably just trying to find unique ways or, be the first to try it. Obviously there's going to be hiccups, and you're 100% right. Running, if you're running a kickoff back, there ain't no way you catching that QR code. I think
in the game program, you could probably do seniors. Maybe you do a feature.
Guys that are on the cover or something.
Right. Yeah. But on the ticket, like on the ticket, the actual digital ticket that you use to get in Memorial Stadium, that barcode, when you go to the ticket, it would bring you to a page for athletes, featured athlete of the day. Now, of course, I would love to be in the room for those discussions over who the featured athletes are going to be. And hey, why are you putting number 32 up there 48 times? And number 11 only went up there twice. Well, if they're not making, if he didn't go on a 40-yard run, we probably wouldn't have that issue.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that you could do is, like, if you ever, went to a charity event, that they send you a link. So it'd be a link to, I guess, in this case, Oklahoma State. And, and then you have the whole lineup of the players.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't have to worry about who's featured. What's going to feature you is, then you'll get into, I'm not getting enough opportunities. No, then it's always going to be
tackled by Jay Foreman. Wait a minute, that wasn't Jay Foreman. That was Austin Norman.
Yeah, you have to do that, or the people are going to.
I'm making the first tackle of my life in college. Something like drastically wrong.
They'll probably do a lot of big plays and stuff like that. But like the small town kids, if you got some people that just aren't very connected to what's going on down in the university or wherever you're playing, it's an opportunity for them to show some love for when they come and watch you and you're just out there playing. Kind of like, hey, I'm thinking about you or whatever, but. For the players that make big plays and they're able to get kind of like in-game bonuses and stuff like that, you could definitely have a link to everybody's, QR code or whatever if they have a charity or something like that. So they're able to, create some additional income on top of NIL and stuff like that. Stuff, moving forward because, like the, GM position or like this or NIL opportunities, that you're always going to have to be at the forefront of the market and ideas. Always. You're going to always have to be a step ahead, or a step if you're one step behind, you got to be very, very close, because it's going to be an ever evolving, process and state of college football, because as you have, you're moving towards employees, you might have more, teams in the college football playoffs in a couple of years. And you got, TV contracts that, say they start getting towards the end. And then, guess what happens? In 5 to 10 years, they just flip back and just go to regional, alignments for conferences and stuff. Then that changes the whole landscape of it, because then you might bring in more rivalry games and stuff like that maybe have been, put aside, for quite some time. And so that's why you need all those positions, GMs, whatever, blah, blah, player ops and all that stuff, is because you're going to have pretty much a whole department that's keeping an eye on what's going on.
Well, aren't rivalry games the perfect opportunity to debut these? Hey, we got Red River. Hey, we got Bedlam.
Yeah.
Hey, we got Bama LSU. We got
they're sponsored.
World's Largest Cocktail Party.
They're already sponsored. Right? They're already featured, right? Imagine. So,
but the emotion is in there.
Yeah. The quick search is that. So K-State hit 76 threes last season. I would imagine if you just said half of those, or let's say 40 were made at Pinnacle Bank Arena, those were opportunities. So imagine for every three, for every block shot, they could determine what it was. You put the code up and they track it and it goes through. But yeah, you need somebody to manage that. You need somebody to have eyes on it, because again, the unseatiness of it, you don't want, folks from down the street, down the alley, sponsoring your matinee player.
Yeah. I mean, for K-State, it's a good example. A lot of his support system is very far away. Mm-hmm. And so, for him and you, what was the basketball player at Kentucky, Austin, that wasn't
Shepard?
Yeah. No, he was from, I think like an African
company. Sheboy.
Yeah,
Oscar Sheboy.
where he wasn't able to or eligible to get NIL.
Zach Edey.
Yeah. And so in this case, these cases, back at, where they're from, you can have, local, families and businesses, donate to his NIL. So he's able to represent your country and town or whatever township, where you're from, to the, the best of his ability, but then also support him, which is most important. And then as with any NIL, you got to be able to have people that are your managers and stuff to, make sure things are done on the up and up. But I think, again, whoever's consistently embracing and being at the forefront of the ever-changing college football, whether it's on the field, off the field, or just a mixture of how you structure your college football program versus your athletic department, is going to be in a better position to put themselves in a position to consistently win. And when you consistently win, you consistently get the bucks. And that's a hard thing to do. It's a hard thing to, kind of corral if you aren't ever doing it. That's why you have to be at the forefront of everything and try some things that maybe don't work. Try some things that really are a hit, because once they hit and you're there, you set yourself apart. Because if you're going to try to do what everybody else is doing and you're trying to make some headway, you're going to get the same result as before. And there's nothing wrong with doing it, but you're going to have to try to be very unique to try to attract some players, whether it's really, really focusing on something that, say, like line like a Lawrence Taylor likes to do, or something, trying to figure out a way to get them here to accentuate yourself.
Well, that's the danger of falling behind, right? Is that as soon as you're even, you're behind.
Yeah.
If you have an advantage and you've lost that advantage, you're behind because someone else cracked it first.
Right.
They have the first mover advantage in the situation. So then not only do you have to play catch up, you have to put in double the effort to not just catch up, but pass if you want to do the same thing. The cheat code, which is, again, the high risk, high reward, the hardest thing to do, is find that catalyst, that shock to the system that no one else has thought about. Be the innovator.
Right.
Those people always end up better in the long run when they have a new idea, a fresh idea that they're able to execute well and consistently. But there's a reason that these things happen so infrequently, because it's hard to do.
Being a pioneer rather than a settler. We say it a lot, that often you can't be afraid to be great. You have to take a risk.
It's a tricky position because you got to make sure before anything you have to have a foundation, right? So you got to have your, like in football team, you got to be able to have your fundamentals and all that stuff together. And then you are able to use the the fun stuff, the people that get all excited about, which in this case would be unique ways to attract more players, raise money for players, and really be at the forefront and pioneer, like you said, Austin, without losing your identity of what you're doing. And so, here's an analogy. If you just thought that you were just going to run spread offense after Chip Kelly kind of shocked the world with it, and whoever was down in Nevada with Colin Kaepernick, and you're going to be 20 years later running the same plays, it's not going to work. You got to have a base of that and then be able to add that onto it.
Well, what ended up beating Nebraska? Not people getting good at the option, finding something else. How did Nebraska beat Miami? Not by trying to beat Miami.
Yeah. You added a little bit of Florida State, Miami defensively to actually offset what was digging off in your offense. And so then therefore you were able to even the playing field. Then you were able to go back to what your foundation was. What is that? Physical football, and obviously not turn the ball over, ground, on the ground game, and then obviously good hard-nosed defense. Now you're up there and you have the market cornered. And so and then you're able to continue along with dominance and so forth and so on. Now, college football in general is set up not to have those type of runs. Now, what Alabama is able to do and potentially what Georgia's potentially going to be able to do is not going to be often as if when we had our run, just because there's too much parity. Number one, the type of athlete and the type of player upstairs mentally is totally different. And number three, this day and age of the transfer portal, pay for play, eventually being employees, just changes the whole. And you're only going to potentially only have a roster of 105. It's totally different.
And no disrespect, it's simpler and easier to win one game than three.
Yeah,
simple math.
Yeah, and it's going to be, it's going to be interesting to see. If you're the 15 or below, let's say 16 or below, kind of consistently from there, you're going to have to take some risk, and you're going to have to be able to deal with the ramifications of those risks. But then also you have to make sure that everybody's on board with those risks. You can't ever have 20 people agree on it, and then when it doesn't work out, everybody's like, "Well, I told you so." It's got to be a collaborative effort, and that's how you're able to go through some lean times, ups and downs, because college football is going to change. It's going to be ever changing to parity. There's going to be some teams that perish, really football programs that won't go away, but won't be relevant, that have been thought of at a highlight. Team like Stanford, where they're a higher education university, and they don't have David Shaw anymore, which I think he was the ultimate equalizer, right? He was able to recruit, develop, and obviously take what Harbaugh did, and I think just kind of obviously blow it up, right? And he was consistent. He was the figurehead. He was the face of their athletic department. People don't realize that. And a lot of ways of their university, because he was heavy involved in the education on campus and things outside of football, because that's where his players were involved. That's what Stanford's niche was, right? That's going to be totally different if they don't have success in the ACC, because now they can get exposed to more East Coast players to recruit. A lot of the players that they're going to be exposed to probably aren't Stanford students, because Stanford is still about school.
What's made Stanford stand out athletically over Northwestern, Vandy? What is Stanford?
California
athletes.
California
athletes.
Yeah. I mean, not anything more to it.
No.
Okay.
Massive. I mean, Chicago doesn't lend itself to Northwestern living.
No.
There's a huge difference between your major market being representative of you and not. There are people from Los Angeles, because it's so vast, that would still fit at Stanford, and you don't lose anything. Plus, they're drawing from Portland and Seattle and Las Vegas. So yeah, there's tons of space.
More people they're better athletes that are more equipped to go and handle that workload at Stanford. And they just have been
just like a Class A school versus Class C.
Right. And they've been pretty dang good at sports and men and women's forever. And
a lot of legacy work sending kids to one kid we had, David Joe Nussbaum, his dad was a 7-footer at Stanford. Well, guess what? His kid's going to be a 7-footer and can get into Stanford because he's going to do the academic work to get into Stanford. Plus, he has letters of reference from the necessary alumni. So that's part of the deal.
Okay, let's take this conversation one step further then. If you're the Big Ten, is getting LA and New York, you essentially giving up on Chicago. You wanted Northwestern to turn into Stanford, but instead of putting in the legwork to make Northwestern make Chicago better, you went to 2 other markets on the coast.
I thought Stanford was a better Big Ten fit than a lot of the places they looked at. From an academic standpoint, it makes perfect sense. I thought Utah, BYU connected more to the Big Ten theory of education and the ways of education. A lot of the cultural stuff would have fit better in the Big Ten. Cal Berkeley, for crying out loud.
Cal and Stanford, I thought.
Right, like that was a layup.
I thought it would be the 4 that we got and those 2 just from academics.
Yeah,
they just
but even 20
they fit.
Yeah,
they're
like
big,
hand in glove.
Right. You got Stanford that's kind of like Northwestern. You got Cal that's a little bit of Stanford. Cal and Stanford competed. Like they both are very, very well off educated schools. I'd probably think Cal thinks they're a little bit more grimy. Obviously, just because
get Aaron.
Yeah. Well, they're close to Oakland, and Stanford's Stanford's a little bit closer to San Francisco, and it's definitely different. Yeah. But that type of rivalry coming into the Big Ten seemingly fits. It's like Northwestern and let's just say Purdue, because obviously Purdue an engineering school or something like that. And the academic standards are pretty much like a walk in the park, I imagine, for both of them, as far as fitting in the Big Ten. So, but the ACC said, hey, we got to up our we got to get smarter. We don't got to get better football.
Georgia
we got to
Tech
get smarter.
and Virginia wanted friends.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right.
UVA was really trying to, hey, can you hook a brother up?
Yeah, that group chat between them 4 presidents. They're probably really.
Who hurt you, Virginia Tech?
They're all dressed to the 9 for their group chat. With the bow ties and everything.
Perfect.
With the warm cognac and stuff, and by the fireplace with the sweat around their neck. But either or, all to the good. So we'll see what unique ideas come along as the season goes on, or in the off season, because your boy Mike Gundy has said for the agents stop calling his NIL department, which probably is dumb. Because if you have a kid, and we got 2 minutes, if you have a freshman or a transfer, that comes in and say either he knocks it out of the park or gets jettisoned into a position and he performs as a coach or a NIL person or as a whoever, right? I would encourage you to do it. I mean, you earned it, right? The only problem is when you don't earn it, then you got to make sure the agent picks up that phone, and he kind of tell you that you better call Tyrone, right? Well, anyways, so we'll see what happens, man. Anyways, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to talk about your boy Aaron, the Cal Burke. He just said Robert Saleh, Mr. Taking Receipts, he's on his hot seat is on. Said in the last 8 years, this is the hardest camp he's been in. 300 plus more plays at this same point in time that they've practiced, and it's been extremely physical for an NFL camp. The mindset and what they have to do let you know the Jets are trying to be for real, and they're trying to take the first quarter and a half of this NFL season by storm. We'll talk about next. Jay Foreman, DP, Austin. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and Jay on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Looking for a place to host a one-of-a-kind private game day experience for your staff or clients? Courtyard Marriott downtown is just blocks from the stadium and steps away from all the fanfare. You'll enjoy use of an entire entertainment space, including outdoor courtyard, accommodations for 250-plus guests. Party starts 3 hours before kickoff, and they'll clean up while you go and enjoy the game. Call Courtyard Marriott at 402-904-4800 for more info or to book your pregame party today. Limited dates available.
In every office, there's 2 types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
What's it take to be a mentor with big brothers, big sisters? It takes 30 minutes and a cup of coffee, a video game, best 2 out of 3. It takes sharing thumbs up emojis, clapping emojis, and loaded nachos at halftime. That's how you make an impact on a young kid's life. So go on, share a few hours a month, because mentorship may sound huge, but the truth is, it takes little to be big.
To learn more, volunteer or donate, go to bbbslincoln.org.
Hey, it's Jake Sorensen. Tune in this Thursday, August 22nd for Early Break live from the brand new Ruhlman Steakhouse in Ashland. We'll sample food throughout the broadcast and show off the newest steakhouse in the area this Thursday for Early Break live from Ruhlman Steakhouse in Ashland.
Summer concerts keep rolling at Pinewood Bowl with the great show on Wednesday, August 21st. Blue October headlines a trifecta of artists with Switchfoot and Matt Nathanson starting things off. Don't miss Blue October, Switchfoot, and Matt Nathanson on Wednesday, August 21st at Pinewood Bowl. Get tickets today at Ticketmaster.com.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
Follow the Huskers to the City of Angels when Nebraska plays at USC in November. Book your official Nebraska alumni travel package at HuskerFanTravel.com. Choose from 2 or 3-night options that include a downtown LA hotel, exclusive welcome event, game day transportation, and the official Husker Huddle pregame party. Add on game tickets for an optional upgrade. Transportation to and from LA not included. Join the official Nebraska alumni trip to see the Huskers play at USC. Spots are limited, so book your trip now at HuskerFanTravel.com.
Are you tired of the same old entertainment options? How about something that's truly fun for both kids and adults? Nebraska Knockerball, the new place to go for your private and corporate parties. Step inside one of their inflatable spears and let out stress in a healthy form of exercise. Or try the human foosball, foot darts, yard pong, giant beer pong, basketball Connect 4, and much more. Nebraska Knockerball, specializing in physical, engaging fun. Call Nebraska Knockerball today at 402-460-8724 to learn more or book a reservation now.
Bill Bush here for Hefty Seed Company, who wants you to know about their summer meeting on Wednesday, August 21st. You know how deeply I care about ag, so I'm locked into these topics for the meeting, including input costs for the 2025 growing season, weed control, fertility, seed traits, new varieties, herbicide, and crop protection pricing, and all industry news. RSVP today, heftyseed.com/store meetings, or call 402-646-2040. It's the Hefty Agronomy Meeting at Harvest Hall at Seward County Fairground on Wednesday, August 21st, from 1 to 2:30, with lunch at 12:30. Free lunch. Don't miss it.
Everyone should have a collection of something. For some, it's stamps or coins, expensive cars, or even watches. But for a lot of people, it's sports cards. And there's no better way to grow your collection than with the help of Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's first and only collector-first sports cards and memorabilia shop. Capital City Sports Cards connects collectors of all ages and demographics with unique collectibles sure to bring any collection to life, no matter the budget. Visit Capital City Sports Cards near 56th and Old Cheney or through their eBay storefront. Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's premier sports card and memorabilia store.
Ready to add a dash of Southern flavor to your week? At Wings and Rings, their brand new Southern fried wings have arrived for a limited time. Indulge in the irresistible goodness of large, traditional bone-in wings coated in a crispy beer batter and fried to perfection. Try them with hot honey or any other sauces. And for those busy summer days coming up, look no further than their Southern Fried Wings Family Bundle. Wings and Rings, 2 Lincoln locations on O Street or Village Lane.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today: scattered showers possible this morning, and probably sunny skies expected this afternoon. We'll see a high around 82. Tonight, partly cloudy skies with a low around 65. And tomorrow, mostly sunny skies return, the light breeze, and a high around 86. I'm meteorologist Kyle Pecker from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back to Old School with DP and Jay on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back. Jay Foreman, DP, Austin, Old School, the AA Ron edition. Last time we talked about AA Ron, we got people talking about that. They were mad because we were making fun of him because he went and took diarrhea pills for 30 days? 3 days?
Boy.
Too many days.
Yeah.
Boy.
1 day is too many.
Boy.
That means you signed up for a diarrhea class versus you just accidentally did it.
Probably got it both ways too.
But it seems to be working for him right now where he got interviewed and they asked about camp and you know, I'll talk about a second quote where he says, like, look, you know, it's all about essentially copycat league. If, you know, remember when Denver was winning all those Super Bowls and they were, you know, really just taking care of the players, which is kind of more like what they're doing now. Teams tried to do that. Then, in, you know, probably back when I was younger, they had the Joe Gibbs type of camp, was very physical. Pittsburgh has always been very physical. And, you know, I played for Dom Capers, which was essentially, you know, survival of the fittest. But Aaron Rodgers said that compared to his other 8 training camps in the last 8 years, that this has been the hardest one, the most taxing for him as a quarterback. And that's interesting. He's 41, going to be 41, you know, coming off his injury. But he said he likes the approach because, in particular, if you read between the lines, he's essentially saying it's a organization and obviously a head coach decision, especially obviously the head coach, because he's got to get off to a good start and because he's on the, you know, extreme hot seat, is with these different version of training camp and preseason, some teams start slow, right? And they think, if you really read between the lines, they think they're the best team. They know they have think they have the best quarterback. They think they have the best skill group and the best overall roster, with obviously Buffalo having a lot of chinks in the armor. New England's in rebuild mode. Nobody's really scared of the Dolphins, considering that they let their all-pro defensive tackle go and their defensive coordinator. That they want to do what everybody else seems not ready to do. That's actually practice football at a rate and speed, physicality that is normal, that you should, and increase their rep count, which is 300 plus more plays at the same point in training camp, which in theory will allow them to start faster. And potentially, if you start faster and as your team continues to grow and you get that winning feeling, you'll be putting yourself in a really, really good position, not only to win your division, but then get into the playoffs and have a good seat.
Well, a fast start. We talked about the Jets schedule not long ago. It's at the Niners, at the Titans, host the Patriots, host the Broncos, go to the Vikings.
They probably like every one of those games besides the 49ers. And I don't really think that if the 49ers don't get Ayuk back and say Trent Williams decides to hold out for a couple weeks, I like the Jets.
Fast starts out there, you know, and that's what you need, right? Not just for the attention, but for the actual sake of your football team to get back in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity for him to get started. And the schedule means a lot, especially in the NFL. It's just straight wins and losses. It doesn't, the optics don't really matter. It's just as long as you win. And if you can get off to a good start, considering the factors of everybody else in your division, you know, you'll be sitting pretty with a Hall of Fame quarterback, and you're just assuming the connection to the receivers and their running game and everything will be, you know, be hitting on all cylinders.
But who are they better than in their division?
Well, for sure, New England. But
that's it.
I would say overall, they're better than the Dolphins defensively and offensively. The Dolphins defense is not going to be good this year.
But if you rank those 4 units, it's Dolphins offense, 2 Jets units, and then Dolphins defense at the bottom.
Yeah. And so Buffalo will struggle, one, because Milano's out. So I've been reading up on them. They don't know who's going to replace him. This is the second year in a row. Now, he will be back, but he's still out, right? So your defensive leader is gone, and your ultimate equalizer in Diggs and Allen's connection, which is good for 1,000 yards and like 8.5 touchdowns a year. That's gone. At least he's in Houston. So the Jets probably think it's just them and the Dolphins, and they're going to have to battle it out.
I'm fascinated by all of it, right? That for him to start this conversation by saying what he said, right? Putting light in dark corners that didn't need light. Why go there?
Yeah.
As a leader, going there and then casting shadow, right? It's the same thing with Tua, right? Why go back? You be present. Tell me you're working to make the Jets the best version they can be.
I think that's what he was trying to say, but I think that's what he was saying. He welcomes it and he likes that approach. Now in Green Bay's offseason is very lax. Anyway, always has been.
Yeah. That's the part, right? Yeah. That's kind of the question it led me with, and so, and the fact that it's New York media still stalking this story.
Was Aaron Rodgers loves it now?
Yeah,
this is his deal.
Like this is y'all show up. It's not the same 14 people.
Yeah, you get international. Somebody just popping through town. So let's go see what the Jets are doing, so they can have a story over in said country. But
look at us go.
I think he was trying to say, hey, I like it, and he said the veterans like it. They feel like they're a little bit more hardened. They're extremely physical on defense. I mean, they are for real on defense. There is no joke over there on defense. And if they could resemble some sort of consistent offense with potentially a Hall of Fame quarterback, and if he can stay healthy, they'll be a tough out. Because what he can do, he can overcome Daniel Hackett's play calling and situational.
And he will have to.
Right. Well, he's done it before.
Yeah.
So he knows he has him in his back pocket, and he probably gets a little bit more trust. But now on to Tua. I guess he was on a podcast, or he was on with the old guy, the guy that was Dan Lebatard.
Dan Lebatard.
Either on his podcast or whatever show he was on. He obviously referenced his time when Brian Flores was the coach for a year, right? He was head coach for a year?
Couple years.
And essentially Brian Flores was like, hey, man, he just pretty much say, you garbage right now. You ain't playing up to your standards, probably in different words. This is where it gets a little hairy. So I'll talk about an experience with me, not to that matter, but just having a coach talk to you very frankly. But onto Tua, the weird thing was he referenced a text message. Now, mind you, you have to coach a quarterback different than a linebacker. You have to. He's the face of the organization. He's your number one pick. He's high profile. He's obviously way more high profile than I could ever think of. In the day and age, he was like supposed to be your savior of your organization. Now, whether Brian Flores really thought he was good or not, I mean, obviously it came out to probably not the way that he'd like. But he said, man, this dude sent him a text message. I could just only imagine getting this text message, right? No, mind you, listen, I played for Greg Williams. Okay. Greg Williams, he would test your manhood in any way possible. But if you are about it, you ain't okay, fine, okay, I'm gonna show you, right? And again, I'm a linebacker, he's a quarterback. He texted this man and said, don't blow this. Hey, just imagine watching tape. It was like, should I really show that check down? Or should I try to throw that 9 route before the safety get over top with your head coach? The dude that's supposed to be in it, to like in the foxhole with you. Hey man, don't mess this up. Don't blow this tomorrow. We gotta win this game.
Not go get him. Not you got this. Not hey, watch out for this. Don't blow it.
Good night. Hey, hope you sleep well. You rested?
No, coach, I'm not actually.
Well, man, the problem is they were saying like, you could probably get approached Brian Flores with for malpractice. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Flores was just minding his own business.
No,
and his phone goes off.
Oh, today?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He had a press conference.
Yeah,
he's like, I got to do better.
Hey, Harrison Phillips walked him there, though.
Huh?
Harrison Phillips walked with him to the presser.
Oh, yeah. That's bodyguard. Yeah. I'm sure he's changed his
knock at the door. Who's there?
Yeah.
Oh, Tua.
Tua got that check and said, listen, I'm laying it all out there. And I get it. It's probably traumatic. And all he was referencing is Mike McDaniel infusing confidence in him. It's just a different athlete. Like, I think, look, man, I remember when we were playing Pittsburgh in the preseason, and, I'd already started. Miles Aldridge was like, there it is. And Miles Aldridge comes up to me and he's like, wasn't Miles Aldridge, like Tom Donahoe was the GM, and he was like talking. I always say he give you a drive-by compliment. It's kind of a compliment, but then when you realize that you think it's a compliment, he actually trying to shoot you, and now he's getting you, right.
I thought you said he would leave you with a compliment and walk away.
Yeah, no. Oh no, he would look you dead in the face and was like, man, you play really good. And he's like, I didn't think or know you were that good. Couldn't you just say you've been playing good? Right? I mean, that's cool, right? Or you could say, you know what, we were pleasantly surprised. Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
but
that's
just
a great tackle for being out of position.
Right. Yeah, I had to play you, man, but you know what? I can't take you out now. We got to wait till the end of the season. So I've been exposed to that, right? And I've had coaches that are, and you could be like that, especially with a linebacker. I was a starter, but I was at least, I'd only started for a couple years, 2.5 years. And so there's other guys, more established, kind of higher paid. And I still was on like I was on my Tinder or whatever. So I understood like where I was, kind of in the pecking order and, whatever. And so I knew I had to, once I proved myself, the conversation was a lot different after I was established myself with this new coaching staff. But when you're exposed to that, like there's some driving home. I was like, hey, Dad, this dude's stone crazy. This is what he said to me in practice. This is what he said to Nate Clements, who was a first-round pick. You get what I'm saying? Here's what he said to Antoine Winfield. You get exposed to different tactics, right? They try to see where you're at mentally to see if they can trust you or not. Now, granted, if you're a quarter, some guys just like it and some guys don't.
Okay, how many NFL coaches actually want to see where you're at mentally? They try something to see if they can get away with it, and how many of them just say it because they don't know any better, and that's just who they are?
I think with Brian Flores at that point, that's just who he was. He runs hot now.
Yeah,
and and everything that he does, you better do it with an edge. Now he wants you to play. He's there to coach football, and he wants you to play football. I think he's grown from that, right? I think there was other things going on. And in the way he treated Tua, you got to think he was encouraged to lose games. You got to think he was an African-American coach with probably the only opportunity, what it looks like, to be a coach, was encouraged by people in the organization to lose. That's a lot of pressure. Now, granted, I feel like DP said, I feel like you're the adult. Everybody's an adult. You're the coach. You should be able to leave that in that studio over there. And when you're in this quarterback room and you're dealing with a quarterback, doesn't matter if you're used to seeing Tom Brady. Tom Brady ain't here. Tua is your quarterback. Whether he's forced out there by the owner or the GM, you got to coach him. That's the professional life, and he obviously failed. And he admitted it today. Brian Flores said, look, man, that really hurt and stuff like that. And sometimes when you're caught up in the moment as a coach, I think you do some things. And, I'd like to think that Sean Payton, the way that he talked to Russell Wilson in Detroit, he probably would have liked that back.
Yeah, and the fact that it's been carried since, that there are quarterbacks and coaches who handle that better. Yeah. Knowing that you handle better, and you look over the fence and you go, wow, that's what we were coaching against in Miami. That's what was going on. And it changes, right? Because now everybody moves. Yeah. So you're not stuck in Miami like in the old days where you couldn't get out.
You can leave. Jay, hey, call your agent. Hey, I ain't going to work.
Yeah.
Does Brian Flores get a second shot like Raheem Morris?
No.
This was he's going to get paid for the lawsuit. I think this is unfortunately for him, the excuse that they can use not to do it. Now, here's an example of totally different, and this is where you run into trouble of trying to emulate somebody that you certainly aren't. That you aren't. The only person that really was able to emulate somebody and almost be the second coming of them is Kobe and Michael Jordan, or Michael Jordan and Kobe, or whatever you want to say.
No.
You got to think. Brian Flores coached in New England. Bill Belichick used to talk crazy to Tom Brady. He did in front of the whole team. That's what he saw. That's what he knew. Now let's take a step further. Josh McDaniels. If you could talk to people that were up in Denver, he was the same way. Ruined it there. Obviously, he was there in Indianapolis for like 2 minutes. But then when he went into the Raiders, he tried to do it the same way. Here's the difference. Somehow Josh Daniels got 2 chances. He'll be an offensive coordinator some way. Brian Flores is now defensive coordinator. Sometimes the New England way, and you think you need to do it that way, it's not. It's the perfect mix with Bill Belichick and a quarterback that got severely overlooked by the Patriots and everybody else for 5 rounds, ends up being the best of all time, and he's tough as nails. Not everybody's built like that. You can't coach Tua like Tom Brady. You just can't. They're 2 different dudes. And he lost sight of that. And it failed miserably. And he got reminded of it today after Tua just got that 220.
Hey, see, it's funny that we say it failed miserably. Brian Flores won 19 games in 2 years.
I was just talking about the
relationship.
relationship.
But despite that, the results were not atrocious. Like you said, they were being told to lose.
Right. And there were 1 or 2. He was winning as a FU to. It was like what was the movie with the Indians? When they used to take the Major League with the owner, and they take off the mannequin, they take the thing. That's exactly what it was.
Yeah, he'll get paid for that, and I'm sure at some point some college, big 5 college football will say, "Yeah, come on, like come."
Because he'll do what Bieniemy didn't.
Yeah, they're not the same.
No,
those two aren't the same.
No.
And he's one of the top coordinators in the league.
Yeah, and I think he likes coaching. I think he would do better in a college situation. He did well as a pro. He just didn't do what they wanted. I think at college, where he has more control and more relationship control, he'll do fine.
Yeah. Wish him all the best. Tua's in his healing. I hope Tua's healing, man. You need a hug.
You want him to throw those interceptions clear-eyed, not starry-eyed.
He's colorblind. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. He can do all.
I'm kidding.
He can do all the karate, falling all he wants. He gonna get hit when we play him. So
he said we.
Yeah,
Jay's jerseying up, bro.
That's just because it's Jake in the Dolphins.
He's jerseying up. He coming to get you.
Yeah. Anyways, we're gonna take a quick break. Come back, put a bow on this bad boy. Jay Foreman, DP, Austin. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and Jay. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Have you been told by your physician that your testosterone level is fine, but you don't feel fine? Get a second opinion. If your testosterone level is 200, 350, even 500, and you still have symptoms, come to Limitless Male. We treat the person and the symptoms, not the number. Our mission is for you to feel optimal again. So if you're tired all the time, no energy, brain fog, muscle loss, nothing left in the tank, get your free consult at limitlessmale.com.
Load up on meat and more this summer at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's specials through August 20th is buy 2 New York strips, get 2 free, limit of 4. Also, $2 off all nuts. Location at 84th and Havelock and 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Everyone should have a collection of something. For some, it's stamps or coins, expensive cars, or even watches. But for a lot of people, it's sports cards. And there's no better way to grow your collection than with the help of Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's first and only collector-first sports cards and memorabilia shop. Capital City Sports Cards connects collectors of all ages and demographics with unique collectibles sure to bring any collection to life, no matter the budget. Visit Capital City Sports Cards near 56th and Old Cheney or through their eBay storefront. Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's premier sports card and memorabilia store.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Bill Bush here for Hefty Seed Company, who wants you to know about their summer meeting on Wednesday, August 21st. You know how deeply I care about ag, so I'm locked into these topics for the meeting, including input costs for the 2025 growing season, weed control, fertility, seed traits, new varieties, herbicide, and crop protection pricing, and all industry news. RSVP today, heftyseed.com/store meetings, or call 402-646-2040. It's the Hefty Agronomy Meeting at Harvest Hall at Seward County Fairground on Wednesday, August 21st from 1 to 2:30 with lunch at 12:30. Free lunch. Don't miss it.
For 15 years, Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping has been helping Lincoln become healthier, happier, and more fit through our proven combination of kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching. And to celebrate 15 years of success, we're offering you 50% off our next 10-week challenge beginning September 14th. That's 10 weeks of fun group fitness classes and individualized coaching for half off. And at the end of the 10 weeks, someone's walking away with $1,000 for the best transformation. Come check it out. What do you have to lose? Click on the banner at theticketfm.com to learn more. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill or 70th and Vine. And check us out online at fxblincoln.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and Truck Month is back. We have absolutely gigantic savings right now at Koppel. They are offering $12,500 off on select new pickups. That is not a mistake. You heard right. $12,500 off list price right now on select new pickups. Those discounted units, though, will not last long. These are all manager specials. You have to come in now, so hurry in down 144th Street or shop online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. Stock number G356093 must trade.
It's the fall sports season, and that means that the school year is back in session and you're planning road trips for Nebraska football games and following your kids around to their different events. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home so you don't have to worry about your current car struggling through another season. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Lake and find your next ride. As your fall schedule gets busy, you'll need a reliable way to get to your destinations. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
Back to old school with DP and Jay on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back. Jay Foreman, DP Austin, old school in full effect. We'll see what the Jets do. We'll see what the fallout is from Tua and Brian Flores. I think at some point in time, obviously, I think it was good for Tua to probably get it off his chest and stuff. And Brian Flores he didn't dodge it. So you got to give the man respect there. But at the end of the day, as they're moving forward towards the season, the talking needs to stop. And that is not minimizing anything Tua said. This is not maximizing what Brian Flores did or, making it valid. But at the end of the day, you got paid. Rightfully so. I feel like the Dolphins probably waited a year too long, but you know what? You maximize they owed you because they put your life and your career on the line, sending you out there.
Fully concussed.
Right. And that's on the Dolphins. That's not on Brian Flores. So if I had advice for Tua, stop talking and start playing, because this year, as you've gotten the bag per se, lights and all the blame and all the accolades will be on you.
How many wins do you think that he leads them to?
If he stays healthy, I think they're going to be tough, man. I mean, just that offense and the way, I mean, they'll be able to compete and I think they're at least 10, 11 wins. I mean, just without even looking at the schedule. Tyreek Hill, Waddle, Morissette, the line, the play calling, Gesicki, Tua, they give them a chance in every single. I mean, they're getting off the bus ready to go. You know, but you know, the talking needs to stop, and the more the playing needs to start getting ready to go. Because as you get towards the season, you know, nobody's going to care about that.
Austin, who wins that division?
I still give them
right
to
next
Buffalo.
to you. That's right.
No, I would say that anyways, right? You don't have to threaten me with it, right? Like
I just was looking at you.
I may be dumb. I'm not stupid.
I was just reading your body language.
It's Buffalo, Miami second. I could see the Jets passing them if the offense takes a step back. I don't think it's going to be historically good like it was last year, and the defense is, like you said, watch out with Wilkins out the door. I just need to see it from the Jets.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm talking myself into
and
the
Howard is gone too. So you had two lockdown all-pro corners. Yeah. Here's a bigger question, Austin. Who wins the AFC South? I won't even look at you. I'll just look at the screen.
Jacksonville. See what I did?
He picked of all. I would have rather you pick the Tennessee Titans.
He said Trevor Lawrence.
Goldilocks.
No,
the Fighting Urban Meyers.
It is a wild card team this year.
I think it's look, man, as much as Houston won the division, look, them and Indy was down to like the last play every single day. Don't sleep on Indy. Especially if
he won't let us.
Training camp is concerning me. Has not looked smooth.
Yeah.
So
Richardson needs to stop talking. He needs to start playing.
Yeah.
But if Taylor is rolling, and the Bam Bam Bigelow, which I call Quentin Nelson, that's who he is. He Bam. All he needs is shave his hair bald and get like that V tattoo. He Bam Bam. If he is healthy, he's a one-man gang. Anybody
don't forget my boy DeForest Buckner in the middle there.
Yeah, but
big Buckner guy.
Listen, Quentin Nelson is a problem.
It's true.
He is the Caucasian version of Larry Allen, or at least was trending that way. Anybody that pulls and screams for 5 seconds, and you're not normal. You got a problem. And
some screws loose in the best way possible.
And we need to sit down on a couch with the fireplace going and just have a nice little, like the water going, and we just need to talk. What's
you need
wrong?
The rocks that the water can run on. You need the sound.
What
and
happened
a little light.
to you at Notre Dame that made you like this?
Who happened to you at Notre Dame that made you like this?
Yeah. Well, you know who the common factor is? Brian Kelly.
Brian Kelly?
Yeah, there it is. When in doubt, blame Brian Kelly.
How about that?
Anyways, you know what? We're going to talk SEC next year or tomorrow because Brian Kelly might be on the hot seat, man. I talked to one of my boys. My man Rayon Hill said that everything might not be all good in camp. So anyways, Jay Foreman, DP, Austin Norman, we'll holler at you tomorrow.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Everyone should have a collection of something. For some, it's stamps or coins, expensive cars, or even watches. But for a lot of people, it's